Hi, and welcome to Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. Remember to like and subscribe to us on YouTube down below Kathleen. Hit the little alarm bell. This is episode 13?
No.
15.
Oh,
sorry, I shouldn't curse.
Oh, yeah.
No, cursing in front of the 1-year-old.
I'm Jen.
Amanda.
Charlie.
Kathleen.
Charlie. Yeah.
Special guest star, Baby Charlie. Are you going to talk to us?
Are you a guest star today? Actually, we're going to have multiple guest stars in
We
this
are.
episode.
We are.
But Charlie's the first.
Charlie's our first guest star
And
today.
he's so amused by everything we say.
He is. This is a special episode because we're actually going to have an interview with the ladies from Knitted Wit in the middle of it. So keep watching.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're going to talk a little bit about what is happening around town. That's right. He's such a good helper.
Charlie and I might not last this whole episode. We're going to try to get through, finished objects, and
You'll see
how this
Amanda,
goes.
dart in, dart out, and if you hear strange noises, it's Charlie in the background. Again.
You went down?
Are you sneezing?
He does that now. That's his,
Choo! Yeah, you're too cute, kid. So the first big thing that's going on around town is not technically actually around our town.
Why?
You're a comedian.
We can't have a regular word.
This is awesome. My little one is 6, so it's all about farts and potty words, and this is adorable.
Yeah.
And he's portable still, as opposed to I can't really carry Ollie around unless I carry him like a surfboard off the playground, which has happened many times. So anyway, our local around town, as I said, isn't really around town, but it is Rhinebeck weekend.
100 miles north.
100 miles north, so hour and a half drive. If you hear noise, you can kind of see him maybe in the corner.
No, I'll probably crop him out.
You probably crop him out. All right. So it's Rhinebeck weekend, and we have our Soldotna Knit Along meetup is happening on Saturday. We have one at Rhinebeck at 2 p.m. outside the Maple Sugar Maple Sugar House. It's not really a meeting
That's
house.
up the hill, past
the hill.
That's the donuts.
Past the never-ending line for donuts.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah,
maple
it
cotton
is.
candy,
It is.
maple syrup,
Oh, the maple cotton
every,
candy.
and they have something new maple every year.
They
so
really do.
I'm sure there'll be
It's
something
awesome.
new.
Okay. In addition to my Indian tangled request,
Yes.
I would also like some maple sugar cotton candy.
I will straight up
I
bring
think
you
we
maple
can
sugar
see
cotton candy.
Yeah.
Last year, I brought home maple sugar cotton candy, and my husband was like, "Oh, what a pretty color fleece of wool!" And I was like, "It is delicious.
It could be. Right?
I am
It's
not spinning this. I'm going to just eat it."
I love it and stuff. It's so good.
But it
I'll
looks-
have to put that in a secure place because it'll be hard for me to not eat it on the way home.
I know. I'm gonna get
I think
a
we
bag
finished
for me.
3 bags on the way home.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's so
I'm-
yummy.
We
I
should
love
get
cotton
kids.
candy and I love maple, so it's really hard
Yeah,
to
it's
resist
really
that.
It's so good. So we're going to meet up there. Those of us who are going to Rhinebeck on Saturday will meet up there at 2 p.m.
And we'll also do a friends and family
Yes.
of Yarnia as well, because a lot of people made Soldotnas, but of course not everyone made a Soldotna.
Yeah.
And while we're all there gathering, doing all that kind of fibery fun, we want to do a group picture for
Yeah.
whoever there.
Come
So
meet up. Come say
stop
hi.
by. Yeah,
Come
exactly.
take a picture with us, and we may have the Yarnia banner.
Yes,
Is
we
that
will.
right?
It is in my bag. It is. I am already half packed.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness, I'm nowhere near home.
I'm leaving
Nowhere
early
near
Friday
house.
morning, so
No.
I have to be in the process of getting ready right now.
We're on it. So we're gonna meet up there at 2 p.m. But Amanda had the brilliant idea that they'll
No,
also...
I didn't. It wasn't my idea.
Whose idea was it?
Was it Beth?
I don't think it was Beth's. I think it was a customer.
Was it a customer?
It was a
customer.
customer.
Because Beth mentioned it at Knitting Circle. Well, I saw it somewhere, but I loved
Yeah.
it. And yeah, Beth talked about it at Knitting Circle today too, telling people to come.
Yeah, no, it was one of our customers on Saturday.
Such a good idea.
Yeah.
Saturday. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to have I didn't go to Rhinebeck, but I still did the knit along /
Yes.
I'm a friend of the store meetup
Yeah.
here
Here.
at 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Same
Awesome.
time.
Same time,
easy
Different
to
place.
remember. Yep.
more pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely come and hang out. And also, if you did participate in the knit along, make sure to go to the Ravelry finished objects thread and post your finished
Yes.
object before Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
because I am going to be picking up the
Yeah.
prizes on
Yes.
Saturday, and I already know what they are.
That's
so
And the knit along closes at midnight on Sunday. That's what we said,
yes.
right?
The knit along closes midnight Sunday. So if you have posted your finished object in the finished object thread, you will be automatically entered into a drawing to win one of the prizes. and I think we had 2 categories, right? Went to Rhinebeck.
Right. Did the Soldotna and
did
went
the
to Rhinebeck.
Soldotna.
And did the Soldotna and did not go to Rhinebeck.
And,
So we'll
yes.
have one for each. And also, those who bought at least one of their skeins at Yarnia get an extra entry in the raffle. So
make
So on
sure
Sunday
you
afternoon,
post.
we're going to be pulling that.
Yes.
And I think we have to check. I'm not sure if we said midnight Sunday or 2 p.m. Sunday. I don't know. There's something about maybe we said we'd pull it at 2 p.m. Sunday.
Amanda will
No.
Need to check.
I don't
and
think so.
correct us here.
I'm pretty sure it's midnight.
Okay.
I think it's midnight too. I don't
But
remember.
what was I going to say? Does Montclair Bread Company have apple cider donuts?
Yes.
Yes,
We
usually.
might have apple cider donuts
that's
here
a
on
good idea.
Saturday
That's a
too.
very good
Oh, that's so cute. So you can
I
have
can't
like
do maple syrup. I
Cotton
can't do
candy.
maple cotton
Yeah.
candy. That's going to be a no-go. But I can have cider donuts here.
That's a great idea. Very
anyone-
nice. Have that Rhinebecky
we'll
feeling right in
we'll
Montclair.
channel it. Yeah.
Yeah, why
If
not?
anyone does go to Rhinebeck on Friday and wants to drop off some maple sugar cotton candy, Amanda would greatly appreciate it.
So
for
that's,
Saturday.
that's going to be a busy day because they're going to
Yeah.
be watching the podcast, going up to Rhinebeck.
That's a
That
lot.
would be-
It's a lot of
It'll
work.
be pretty magical.
Wow, that would be. And that
be
would also
hard.
rely on me uploading this podcast to the correct channel on Thursday night. So the wrong one, like I did last time, and then had to re-upload it.
Aw. You have
So
another.
during the
You
day
have
on-
another channel. You have.
I've
another-
got like 5 YouTube.
But if you
But if you have a
I
YouTube
know that.
account, you have a channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't
now I
have to
have-
post it anything to it. You just are.
Yes.
Which is
So I
why
guess I have a channel. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
it's why sometimes you might see one of us replying to comments below.
As ourselves.
Yeah, as
Mhm.
ourselves.
I know,
So, like,
I-
I'm J Benell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 I am one of 4 Amanda Turcottes. Amanda Turcott would be somewhere in that probably.
Yeah.
And I think mine is just Kathleen B. So,
See, that's
but then when I remember, I reply at Shop Yarnia.
Yeah.
So we
if I
try.
do
That's
it on
good.
my phone, I don't reply to Shop Yarnia because
Oh, yeah.
I can't figure
It's
out how
way
to
too
toggle
hard.
it.
I can't even do things with Shop Yarnia and Facebook on my phone. It's very
so much,
annoying.
It's so much.
They keep changing it every like few months, and like once you finally figured it out, then it's different the next time.
They switch out.
Yeah.
Social media, man. It's a bummer. But we love
But
seeing
it's a
you.
great way to connect people, actually.
It really
totally
is.
is.
It really
Yeah.
is. The other thing we have going on around town is we just posted a couple of new classes.
Yes.
Our
Yay!
teachers. Yay!
Finally!
Our teachers.
We've been slowish on the classes this fall.
Yeah. It's coordinating.
It's life. It's life.
have-
There's a lot of a lot of moving
I've been
parts, a lot of
slowish
people.
on everything. I've been saying it to my insurance people, like, I'm sorry, I'm behind on everything. Sorry.
I
Life
feel like I'm
happens
constantly
sometimes.
running late for
This
everything. in
fall
my
is
life.
just a mess.
Yeah, it really is. But our teachers are awesome. We have 3 of them, Karen, Evelyn, and Susan, and we have some 101s going on for knitting in the evening.
Yes.
As a special request.
Mm-hmm.
For 101s for crochet, we have a hat class coming up that may or may not be posted already, but if it's not, look for it. And then a colorwork plug and play class with Evelyn that's going
And
to be
that's
super
selling
fun.
really well. That's
gonna be super
that's
cool.
It's
It's
almost
gonna be
closed.
so fun.
Mhm.
So fun. So hurry. If you're interested, go to shopyarnia.com/class /classes /classes. See, technology.
Slash classes.
/classes. And you can register there. You can register in the store. But also, if you guys have any suggestions for classes that you'd like to see, please, you can comment below. You can email us. You can contact us. You can tell us in
Actually,
person.
at Knitting Circle this morning, we've definitely had more requests for brioche. We need to get that back on the calendar.
Brioche.
Both
Everybody loves
beginning and
brioche.
intermediate brioche.
Yeah. that would
Everybody
be a
loves
fun
it
one.
until they start doing it.
Yeah.
Half the
Yeah.
class is like,
Yeah.
rah!
It's fun.
But it's fun.
Yeah. And actually, we may have another teacher who is going to be
Yes.
helping with that. So
Yeah.
we'll
Nice.
So
talk about
stay
that when the time-
tuned.
time
Stay
comes.
tuned. I think I just heard Charlie knock something over. But so it'll be fine. The other thing is that has just happened around town is we had our Knitted Wit Trunk Show on
Yes.
Wednesday. And so we got a chance to chat with Laura Jean and Shannon, and Amanda is going to cut and insert that here so you can see how the trunk show went. And if you didn't get a chance to come in, you can still pretend that you've met Laura Jean and Shannon right here. Hi everybody, we're here at the Knitted Wit Trunk Show on Wednesday, which if you're watching this, it's probably Friday and you may have missed it. But we still have some stuff in the store. But in the meantime, I would like to introduce you guys to the ladies of Knitted Wit. If you guys could introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Laura Jean, and I own Knitted Wit, and this is Shannon Square, the designer behind Shannon Square Design.
Excellent. So they are here on the East Coast because they are going to be heading up to Rhinebeck, right?
Yeah. And we're
Sunday.
from the West Coast.
Yeah.
So it was quite the journey.
It was. You had a very entertaining journey.
We did. As always.
So I have like piles of yarn on my arm, which I'm going to need to put down because otherwise I'm going to drop it. But in the meantime, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things, including some of the DK yarn that we have from Knitted Wit, Dryad, and Sitka National Park. And you guys were doing national park colorways like well before national parks were a thing, right?
Yeah, we started 2 years. This was our second year? Or
Third year.
Yeah,
Third summer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
right.
Exploring a different national park every week during the summertime.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
We
is-
have one more summer left.
And then you're
Well, that's because I think there's like 62 or 63 national parks. Then there's like national preserves, national historical.
We could
like,
do it for like 20 years.
but we're trying to stay on topic.
I feel like parks is a good parks. Once you get into like smaller down,
Yeah.
you're just gonna get
It's really
thousands
yeah.
and thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
colorways.
Yeah. But
That
it's
are all
it's
similar.
a super fun process. And what's amazing is hearing folks' stories about, oh, we got engaged at this park, or this is on our bucket list. Just the stories and getting to hear people's connections. That's amazing.
That's so awesome because you
Yeah.
can be like, this is my favorite national park. I went
Yeah.
hiking here, and
Yeah.
now I have a sweater
Exactly.
made out of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
And for the summer, we did socks on vacay, so using Shannon's sock patterns and then the whatever Knitted Wit yarn to make socks, and then you have 1 million socks at the end of summer.
That sounds like an
Super
excellent plan.
convenient.
I feel that for sock knitters, that's where
Yeah.
you really need to go. Then you can have your full wardrobe of knitted wit.
Exactly. Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I also have.
Oh, so what's your favorite national park?
Oh yeah, good question.
Oh my god.
What
Color or actual part?
Yeah.
What's your
Those
favorite
are
national?
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do both. Favorite national park, and then your favorite colorway of your national parks colorways.
I have not been to a lot of them, but we did go camping in Zion, and that was amazing. Yeah, it was incredible, and it was before kids, so like we could really enjoy it. So that was. That
I went
and
through
Bryce.
Zion with kids in my back seat, so
Yeah. Zion and Bryce
It was
were
still awesome.
incredible, and it was when you could drive in yourself, like you didn't have to bus in.
Oh, nice.
So that whole drive was amazing. We drove from Arizona up to Portland. Get back to me on
I know.
Yeah, right?
Is it kind of like picking your favorite child? Because you guys
Well,
have a million colorways.
And like every summer, I'm like, oh my god, this is the best year of parks.
And they're
No,
all
this
they're
is the
also
best year.
pretty in such different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gates of the Arctic is
I
probably.
was gonna say
is
Gates
my go-to.
or Acadia.
Yeah. Gates of the Arctic on anything.
Yeah.
And I used, is it Black Canyon or Black Rock Canyon?
Black Canyon, yeah.
Yeah, Black Canyon for the body of my first Soldotna. And I was like, it is, I didn't do any of the speckles or anything.
Because you're just spending. You
Yeah.
don't need to.
Yeah.
It's so, like, I want
gorgeous.
to wrap myself
Yeah.
all the time.
What park for you?
I think Glacier. Because my
Nice.
folks
Oh,
live
yeah.
very near, and it's where near there is where my husband and I met. So it's a beautiful park, and it's also got a lot of great memories. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And your color?
And then color, oh my gosh, I mean, I love Badlands.
I was just gonna say Badlands, so good.
And Badlands Park is super cool too.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. That I mean, that's hard. And if Amanda shows, you can see the table full of the Target bulky, where when we were laying it out, it was like, this one's my favorite.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this one's my favorite. It's like, oh no, this one is my favorite. And
We've
now
done
I'm
that
dropping
since being
things.
here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the swatch of Target bulky. Just to show everyone, because this is a really cool thing that you did, different needle sizes, right?
Yeah. So I think I started at 9, 10 and a half, 11, and 13 because I was trying to get gauge for the sweater Shannon's wearing. And so I wanted to see, I kept having to go up, and then finally once I washed it and the fabric sorted itself out, it was easier to see what was going to actually work, but also getting to know, oh, if I wanted to knit a sweater at a tighter gauge, this is what the fabric's actually going to look like and move.
Yeah.
And like this over the clothes that we wear, like a more drapey fabric is going to work better.
Yep.
For an outer wear sweater, this tighter gauge is going to work better for that. So knitting a big ass swatch was super helpful.
Yeah. Knitting a swatch, always a good idea.
Who knew?
I say it a lot.
Who knew?
Embroider that on a pillow.
Right, yeah. Knit a swatch, y'all.
Yeah.
So, what is the sweater that you're wearing?
This is Ursa Minor by Jacqueline Cieslak. So sorry if we messed up the pronunciation.
Yeah.
And then there's Ursa, which has like fancier stitch work, I think, on the.
It's got like a brioche.
Yeah, just like a V right here. Yeah,
Ursa Minor?
I think it is brioche.
That's fancy.
There's Ursa Minor and then Ursa.
Yeah.
And then I think she has a lighter one in like the linen.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like super
It's a
simple.
similar, like,
Yeah.
kind
And
of-
I'm making another one now. It's such
Yeah,
a
love it.
quick, fast sweater. And I'm striping because I didn't want to have to alternate skeins. So I just took 2 colors and did 8 row stripes.
I love it in the 8
Yeah.
row stripes.
It's
So
so
what are your 2
subtle.
colors?
So this is
Oh.
kelp cake and this is water. Nope, I did that backwards.
Watery tart.
This is kelp cake. This is watery tart.
Right. I did my love note with watery tart
Yeah.
fairy floss, which I'm going to hold up. This is not watery tart fairy floss. This is Winter Fang fairy floss. So this is the fairy floss. I grabbed 2 of my favorite ones, Unicorn Giggles and Unicorn Tears.
That's what I'm using in this shawl.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
like
very good friend.
the entire unicorn line.
Yeah.
How many colorways do you have? Do you know off the top of your head?
Over 300.
Holy moly.
And we do most of our color development in the winter,
Yeah.
November, December, and we will probably do 50 to 100 colors this winter because we have a number of clubs coming up, the parks, and yep.
How do you keep track of it all?
We have binders and sheet protectors, and we have dye cheat sheets. So everything is mapped out, and or if it's a solid, there's formulas. So because somebody else has to be able to go in and do it, and really Sandy is my number 1 person who's doing the variegated because I am not allowed to. Because I am not consistent. And like I had one dyer at one point who was like, "Can you not come in?" Like she keeps coming after me. So I'm not good at that part. I'm good at making a mess. But because the majority of business goes to yarn shops and they want consistent, repeatable, she's amazing. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
How many folks do you have in the business?
6 employees right now.
Awesome. And how did you guys get started?
So I started 12 and a half years ago, almost 13 years ago. I'd taken a spinning class, and it was kind of right at the bump of a lot of indie dyers. And Amy from Spunky Eclectic, Hello Yarn, we could not buy their fiber, like it was sold out so fast.
Yeah.
So I met another person at spinning class, yarn spinning class, and we were like, well, let's just dye our own fiber because we can't buy it. Like we could not buy it from anybody. And then we're like, yeah, and then we'll sell it, and then we can buy more.
No, I know that cycle.
Right? As one starts businesses. And so it's just grown from there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then Shannon at the time when I started was a yarn shop owner and was like one of
we
our
opened.
first, like a month after, 2 months after I started dyeing or something like that. And was the first wholesale account we had.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And you're still together.
And we're still together.
Better than ever.
Better than ever. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Wait, so what were your first colors?
Ooh.
Eat your veggies. I remember one of your colors was called Eat your veggies.
Do you still have that color right now?
No. It was all like peas and carrots.
Yeah, when I started going to TNNA in 2012, that's when things shifted and like as far as repeatability, consistency, and I changed my dye technique as well, and for more accuracy and to have a consistent product. So I would say from 2012 on, there's been repeatable colorways, and then probably 20. I can't remember all my years, but like maybe a year after that, we got back into variegated.
Yeah.
Just because the process of dyeing it was a lot of work, and we were on my back patio for a couple years. And after a blizzard, one of my employees was like, maybe we could find an indoor space. real fun.
Yeah.
Ceiling.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the sliding glass door into our bedroom to get to the bathroom where the water's, you know, just like, maybe you shouldn't be walking through my bedroom. I don't know. Yeah. But like our house was 760 square feet, so not much bigger than this.
Right.
And we had 3 dry racks in the living room, 3 kids and a dog. Like, it was madness. So
Kind of make it work.
you make it work. You make it work. Yeah.
And then you rejoice when you get
And then you move
studio
out.
space.
You get studio space and you're like,
It was amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
so cool. So now, have you guys come out to the East Coast for trunk shows before? Were you here for?
We've gone to DC for TNA.
And we've had trunk shows that go along with TNA.
Yeah. But this is my first time north of DC. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm super excited, but I was
excited.
kind of terrified because like East Coast, y'all are so.
We're loud.
It's a lot.
We're loud. We're real loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was asking Jen, I was like, what if I start crying because somebody yells at me when I'm crossing the street? And she said, just tell me the fuck off.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
oh,
exactly what you do.
I do that all the time in my head.
Now you can have your
So I
inside
can
voice
say it
outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
In New York, it's basically screw you means hey, how you doing, and like down south or otherwise, like Northerners are kind of like, what do you mean? Yeah, how are you doing today? Why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you're supposed to say like, what up?
Yeah. And as somebody who's lived in every state on the West Coast, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's very different.
It's super.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're all loud.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm pushing.
I think I could almost fit in.
You're fine. You're fine.
Or I don't know.
You're fine.
She's gonna practice. She's gonna tell everybody she sees tomorrow to fuck off. See how that goes.
I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this.
Sorry. Normally, I'm the only one who gets beeped out, so this is actually very comforting for me. Like,
No.
I'm not just gonna, man, it's
I'll
just
just
gonna be like,
Put a disclaimer. I give up.
Yay! I love it. Well, we're so excited that you guys are here, and thank you so much for coming and making this kind of like your first northern East Coast trip. And I hope you have a fantastic Friday.
This has been wonderful.
Yeah,
too.
thank you
Your
so much.
community here is so fantastic.
We love our.
We're so lucky.
They're awesome.
Everybody's so wonderful.
The
community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
It's a love fest.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know.
Love
It's a big
fest.
love fest here. This is kind of what Midnight is like, except for like with a lot more knitted yarn.
And some wine usually.
And usually, some wine, chocolate,
Wednesday is our other name.
snacks, random things. So, yeah. So thank you again. Thank you. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. And we'll see you later. All right, so we ready for finished objects?
Sure.
Again, in case Amanda uses this as an excerpt, you can't see Charlie playing peekaboo on the other side of the table, but we can. So now we look crazy.
He's so cute.
He is so very cute. I'll squish that little baby. All right. Come on over, Charlie. We need to show your sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your top while
Sure,
he's
I will
making
talk about
his
the top. Okay, so we're gonna go to finished objects. I have one finished object, and it's kind of an old finished object. This is my Soldotna, my first one, out of Knitted Wit, Matosh.
The speckle is knitted wit.
The speckle is Knitted Wit, Black Canyon DK, and the gray is Madeline Tosh. I can't remember what color. Geyser Pool, maybe?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's like a
Geyser
geyser
pool?
pool, the green gray.
Hi! Charlie's just off camera. The light blue is Allegria.
Hold on. I'm gonna get it.
Amanda's gonna go rescue him before disaster strikes.
He does this all the time.
Because he's a brave boy.
That was something we always used to have to say to Hailie. No standing in chairs. Like she loved, that was her favorite thing, standing in chairs. Standing in chairs.
Ready?
Can you take this one?
Okay.
not bye-bye to
Not bad, baby.
Hello.
Hello. Everyone say hi to Charlie. So the reason so I have Knitted Wit Black Canyon as the speckle. The gray is Madeline Tosh Geyser Pool. The light blue is Allegria from Manos Uruguay held double because it's a fingering weight.
Mm-hmm.
And the purple is a Knitted Wit Double Bubble DK Mini.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the reason that this is kind of like a finished object, even though I
Again,
already,
basically.
is
Yeah.
that I lengthened it a little bit. I took out the ribbing at the bottom. and just added about 1.5 inches more of the speckle, because I realized now that I'm not wearing as many of the linen dresses where like the cropped length was perfect for the linen dress. I want to wear jeans and like a long tank top, and it was a little bit too high. It hit right above the first roll. Right here, my first roll. So I wanted to hit right at the bottom of the first roll to disguise that first roll. And so now it hits right at the top of my waistband. And I actually tried it on with the linen dress, and it's still fine.
It's fine, I'm sure.
So I'm going to actually measure what the underarm seam is to see how long it is. And then hopefully I'll write it down in my notes to see what I edited it to. So that's my only finished object. It's old. What you got?
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be hard to show off the sweater right now, but
Are you playing
it's beautiful.
Okay, I have this finished object.
2 finished objects. This little boy in the
He's
sweater.
a work in progress. Okay, so this summer, I think I mentioned right before, like in June, that I was taking 2 skeins of Harriet by Juniper Moon on my trip to Italy.
Let's show the back.
Yeah.
And I was working on a baby sweater. So this is my...
And I think you showed it like all folded up, right? At that point you
Oh,
couldn't
did I show it?
I think we did.
I think you showed pieces maybe?
Maybe
Oh,
just
pieces
little
folded up?
snippets. Yeah.
You are bendy.
It's so beautiful. It's really
you're
pretty.
so cute.
So this is it, and I'll take some pictures.
Look at
so
how
this is
handsome he is.
yeah.
And
This
You
is
look so dapper.
oh my goodness. Okay, stand up. Stand up. There.
On a table.
No. What?
Hey,
Oh.
Charlie.
He
What's up
likes
there?
the microphone. He
What's up
really
there?
does.
Do you see up there? Do you see up there? What do you see? Look how dapper you look. Hello, I see you.
Yay. There. Yay. So Charlie is wearing a sweater by Karin Fleischman. Now Karin's if you remember, she's one of our instructors here at Yarnia. She's also a knitwear designer. She's designed for Juniper Moon Farms, several patterns for Juniper Moon Farms. Do you want to stay here-ish?
He wants to play with the mic.
It looks like a little friend. It looks like a little alien, I think.
Oh my
right?
goodness.
Can you see yourself?
Oh my goodness, you're sort of a mess. So this is how you live model a sweater. Yay.
Sparkle, Neely, sparkle.
He likes the light, I think, too. It's like,
Yeah. Oh, turn. Do a turn. Thank you.
Oh,
Perfect.
show off the back?
Very nice.
Whoa, good catch, Mommy.
Yay! So, I'm going to put you on the ground. So, that sweater is by Karin Fleischman, who's an instructor here at Yarnia. She's also like an extremely experienced knitwear designer. She's had patterns published in Pom Pom, but she's putting out her first, I think, self-published patterns this November. So in just less than a month from when this podcast comes out.
Yep.
And so that was a test knit
It's really pretty.
for one of the little sweaters in there. And I knit it in Juniper Moon Harriet. It was initially sort of made for a superwash wool, a DK.
That makes sense for baby
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. But I don't mind hand washing something this big.
yeah, exactly.
So- And
It looks great.
yeah, and as an outerwear sweater, like how often do you wash it anywhere? So I knit it in Juniper Moon Harriet, which is 100% alpaca. Which a lot of times knitting a sweater out of 100% alpaca can be a little bit challenging, right? Or inadvisable.
Because it
Oh,
grows, or
because
it's
it
so
grows.
warm?
Well, because it grows, right?
Right.
Because it doesn't have
lengthens,
that.
Yeah. It doesn't retract ever. It just
Yeah.
gets longer.
And I've knit things out of 100% alpaca before that I knit to like one size and then it was like a lot bigger. So you sort of have to pay attention to that. But this pattern is cabled, so those cables provide structure.
Yeah.
And it's seamed, so it's knit in pieces
Right.
and then seamed.
It's not one large thing that's
Yeah.
going to just keep growing. Yeah.
So those seams
some
give
stability.
structure here, like at all the seams. So it works out really well.
Yeah. It looks really cute on him. It's very
Yeah.
classic design. I think it's very handsome.
Charlie, come here.
It's a very handsome
Can I
design.
borrow
On
your
a boy
sweater?
or a girl. It really would.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And
totally
she
would.
has
I would
it
kinda
set
want
up to button on either side. Come here.
Oh, that is very clever. So
Nice.
you could do,
Yeah, you can do it the boy way or the girl way.
and I never remember which side the buttons are supposed to go on. I have to
don't
look
either.
that up every single
so do
time.
So do I.
And then I
always.
have to sit there and be like, is it the left side as you're looking at somebody? Or is it the left side as you're wearing it? And I never remember.
So this is the 12 to 24 month size.
And how old is Charlie now?
Charlie is 16 months.
So he's
Perfect.
dead
Yeah.
and
And it's a little, I mean, it's comfortably big on him, which is perfect.
That's nice. You get more wear out of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I want it to be in the fall before he continues to grow all winter.
Right.
So I think this will be perfect for him all winter. It is warm, which I want it to be warm because like today he's just wearing this as his coat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Well, and
sweet.
also,
I
like,
love
the
it.
babies and toddlers, like young toddlers, they get trucked around so much, they don't necessarily need, like, a coat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they're in the car, they're out of the car, they're in the car, they're in a stroller with a blanket, you know.
Yep, exactly.
There's so much of that. I love the buttons that you chose.
Yeah.
Those are,
Yeah, these are our buttons. We have these here at Yarnia. They come in a few different sizes. I'm not sure if we have the manufacturer changed them. I think they're an 1/8 of an inch smaller than these now, but whatever.
close enough.
Yeah, but they're just wooden buttons with a little engraved filigree around them, little lacy thing. I actually bought these buttons to go on another sweater, and then I
I love them with that. It's
Yeah,
got
I
little,
didn't do the
it
other
kind of picks
sweater.
up the goldy brown of the heather.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, and you have a lot of twisted stitches in here too, right? There's whole columns of twisted knits, and that'll help add a lot of structure to alpaca.
totally. No, there's a.
Beautiful.
So I would say like this is not a flax light. Like
No,
if you're knitting your
It's not your first.
No, it's
Baby
not
sweater?
the one to do for that.
Yeah, it does.
Unless you just really want to challenge yourself. It's,
Yeah.
'cause it is,
Totally do
it's
that.
for a baby. It's small, so it's. But yeah.
Charlie's over there.
Yeah.
Oh, baby head coming out in the corner.
You can see it.
Whoa!
Charlie,
Goodness.
we got a problem. Our,
Okay.
So what's on your needles, Amanda?
right. I magically re-entered the picture.
We're doing some editing,
Yeah,
fun
because
stuff.
Charlie's gonna take a little trip home or somewhere else. I am working on, so I have not made progress on my shawls this week. But, and I actually haven't knit much at all. I think we were talking on last Tuesday, right? And I was just like, I have had no time. I've done
Yeah.
nothing, like, all week
Yeah.
long. So actually, day before yesterday, I was like, I'm going to do something. And I didn't want to, like, pull out something that was going to take me a long time.
Right.
So I started one of Kelborn Woolen's Hat of the Month.
I
Nice.
love their hats of the month. They're so cool.
Right?
Really
Basic.
pretty and interesting.
And now we've got all the way to October's hat. So now you have 10 hats to choose from.
Cool.
Whereas, like, back in the spring, you only had a few.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's perfect because you've got 10 hats. You'll have 2 more by the end of the year.
So which one is this?
This is April. This is by Courtney Kelley. This is the April hat by
Really
Courtney
pretty.
Kelley. So I do have to say, like, if I wanted a relaxing project that didn't take much brain work, I picked the wrong one.
Yeah, I see the nice cables.
Well, there's a
and
lot of
twisted
variety in there. They're doing a hat pattern a month for
Yeah.
this whole year.
Oh,
Out of
wow. It's like little
either-
flowers. Oh, my
Are they-
goodness. Oh, that's beautiful.
Are they
I didn't
all
see
out
that.
of Germantown?
They're all out of Germantown.
All out of Germantown. Kelborn Woolen's Germantown, which is a true worsted yarn.
Non-superwash.
Non-superwash yarn.
Yep.
But,
But-
still nice and soft. I mean, it's not...
It's
Super
Yeah.
soft, hard wearing, beautiful. That's gorgeous. So it makes little
Yeah,
flowers.
that's really pretty.
Yeah, so this one, and they have things from like simple stripes, some of like little slip stitches that would probably, I would be done by now because this is 2 evenings of knitting.
Yeah.
But it's going to be worth it.
But
it's
it's-
really
Yeah,
pretty.
Gorgeous.
It's going to take me 4 nights total at my speed. So I do about like 12, 16 rows a night.
That's still not bad.
No. But
If you see us
he's
looking
found
off
another way
camera,
to
we're
make it.
again.
What do you have, Charlie? Oh, it's your lid of your bottle. Okay.
All right.
great. So this and the April hat in the picture is orange. orange with redheads isn't always the best combo.
No.
So, but I love this lavender.
It's
That's
such
really
a
pretty.
you color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can probably.
Yep,
Yep, I'm totally pulling it off. That's okay.
Marker. Just be careful taking it off.
But it's sticky.
Yeah.
Like super
it
sticky.
doesn't run back too far.
But yeah, so the border is like an eyelet rib pattern with some little twists, and then
It's really pretty.
then you get into this one has both puff stitches and bobbles, and I've done bobbles before, but I've never done puff stitches. So I had to get out my crochet hook because that's how you do puff stitches.
I was gonna say I've done puff stitches in crochet, but not knitting. So they're crocheted puff
They are
stitches in
crocheted.
the knit hat.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep,
That's
That's
very cool.
it's super cool, and
I love the way the flowers look though. They're great.
Right. Little tulips.
yep, and so you
Yeah,
do.
or-
This is one repeat, and so you do 2 repeats.
Okay.
And the first 4 rows are just plain. So then you do the first 4 rows, and then there's decreases that have all these. So I think one more night, and I'll do the repeat of the chart pattern, and then one more night, and I'll do the decreases, and then I'll be done, and I'll have a winter hat.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I
I will
love that.
say I read the instructions for the puff stitch, and I had no idea what they were talking about. But they have like a video, right?
Yeah.
Where someone at Kelborn, maybe Courtney, does like, this is how you, oh no, it's definitely Courtney, because she says in the video, like, as I was designing this hat, this is like my swatch, and yeah, so she like goes through step by step, and then you're like, oh, that's simple, no problem. I wouldn't even call it like really crochet, it's just
Pulling through the loops.
pulling loops.
Yeah.
They
where
have
you're
a,
supposed to.
Kelborn has a lot of really great tutorial videos on their site that are well worth watching if you get stuck or anything. Sometimes when you search for a video tutorial or a regular tutorial, you are at the whim of whatever Google thinks you're looking for. And so your top search might not be the best. The top result from your search might not be the best result from your search. But if you have a couple of like trusted folks,
Exactly. Yep.
Kelborn,
They're a good one to keep on the
Isolde
list.
Teague,
Yep.
you know, Pearl Soho has great ones.
Exactly. Yeah. I go to those a lot.
Yeah.
They're one of my
Ones that you know.
Yep.
Those are good.
Moogly
Moogly.
for crochet. Yeah.
Does Fruity Knitting have tutorials?
Yes, but you have to be a Patreon.
Okay, never mind. I mean, or
They're-
go support them on Patreon.
Yeah, they're advanced. I was, what was I actually looking at? Oh, it was because we learned cabling in our, that's the other thing I did this week, because I did blanket squares.
Your blanket.
But we worked
or
on cables.
middle
But Fruity Knitting has tutorials on both simple cables and complex cables without a cable needle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, like, that's
So
the
it's
kind
worth being their Patreon.
Yes. Yeah, no, she does, like, super in-depth tutorials.
That's awesome.
Say bye!
Bye, Charlie.
Bye!
Can you wave?
Good.
Good job, Charlie.
So it's just us right now because Amanda had to escape with
It
Charlie.
was time to bail with
It
Charlie.
was time to bail. Poor Charlie. I mean, not
He
poor
was-
Amanda.
Yeah. He was having a good time, but you know,
He's
it's he's really good.
He's such a cute kid. I was
He's
just
like happy and busy, but like a little too much background noise for the podcast. So
there's a lot. Poor kid. Almost camera ready. Give him a.
oh, very
2
exactly.
years.
Very maybe even less.
Yeah,
Maybe even
I
less.
would
I
say
could
so,
see.
'cause
Yeah.
he was just like,
he made
hey.
Yeah, he was loving it when he was up on the table.
So let's
more
go. What's your finished objects?
More finished objects. So I'm wearing an older finished object. This is like 3.5 years old. This is Vodka Lemonade by Thea Colman,
I love it.
under her Baby Cocktails design label.
I love her pattern.
I love her patterns too. I really do.
So nice.
If you want to do, an interesting sweater, basically, she's got so many, and I love the fact that all of her things are like adult beverage inspired.
So do I.
As I was saying,
Straight up booze.
as I was saying at Knitting Circle this morning. So, this is, I made this way before we even thought about having Yarnia, so this is actually too soft for this pattern. If I were to make this again, I would do something, actually one thing I was
Something a
thinking
little crisper?
was cotton cashmere, because it is actually meant as a spring sweater, but at the time I was making it, it was, I wanted a
was
fall
winter.
winter sweater, so I made the sleeves longer,
Yeah.
and I used a wool, but I think it would be lovely, so just what I need. Something else in my queue, but I actually
just keep adding and adding and adding.
I reorganized my
exactly
queue the other day,
Did
and
you?
I reorganized the first 20 things.
I have
So-
like a million things in my queue.
I have a million things in my
things in my
favorites,
queue.
but the queue is only like 40 things long, maybe. But still, it's
That's
it's
impressive.
It's pretty real though. Well, because I don't really put everything in there, and I keep mentally adding to the queue.
I use my favorites as in Ravelry as everything that I like, whether I'm going to make it or not.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
And I kind
yeah.
of like my queue is stuff that at some point maybe I'll make. So now my queue is out of control.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually
I
just
think it
saw Thea Colman has a new pattern. I think it's Shandy.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
That I saw that's really neat.
Yeah,
Like she's
yeah.
this really nice texture.
Exactly.
Beautifully.
Lots of
Really
texture and
beautifully.
details and things. Just really
Yeah.
great designer.
I'm excited for that. But you have
So-
more finished objects. I'm
have-
looking at my notes.
Yeah,
and
I
there's
have
more.
I have finished objects that have already gone on to their owners. So one, Hailie's going to send us a picture, but I had the chance to send her a care package last week, and so there was a local family traveling up to Montreal, and she brought a box of goodies, including 2 hats that I made. One was the Baa-ble Hat, which actually I do
love
have
that
pictures of
Baa-ble
those,
hat.
and I did my speckled pom pom. I
Love it.
will do a speckled pom pom tutorial now that I've really
Yeah.
figured out the way to do it, and I was amazed. I Googled it, 0 results. I kept
Really?
trying, no speckled pom poms. So we're going to do a speckled pom pom.
We'll do one,
tutorial.
and then we'll be up on the Google results.
Well, and then we'll start to build our little area of
Build
we-
our
we've got
library.
lots of tips and
Build
tricks.
our
We
library.
we share with people in person, so why not
Yeah.
share them virtually too?
Yeah, we should just film them.
So one was the Baa-ble Hat, one was the Twist of Fate hat, which is really pretty. It is, and we'll have a picture of that. It is. It was done out of the leftover Franca that I had from Hailie's sweater
Nice.
that she asked me to finish for her.
So she'll have a matching set.
Yeah, exactly. And I used one of
perfect.
our nice Toft pom poms.
I love those tough
Grab that, and it's cruelty free, which
Beautiful.
is important for
many reasons, and especially for Hailie, who's that's very important to her.
Exactly. So that was that, and then I finished a Christmas stocking. That was a labor of love for someone, and so that is off with the owner as well.
That was the Christmas stocking that you showed the last podcast.
And
So you finished it entirely. Wow.
I spent 4 hours on it on Sunday. It's like you guys were texting. It's like that's why you weren't hearing from me. I was
You were
busy
busy
at work,
knitting.
finishing knitting, doing all the embroidery, seaming, doing the
yeah.
little. I mean, it had a million little components.
It's a lot
But
of the
it's fun.
finishing details for that kind
Yeah.
of thing, like
Yeah.
between the intarsia and the construction of it. Once you're done with the knitting, then into the finishing up. But I bet it's like,
It was cute. She picked it up yesterday. She was really happy.
oh, that's
So,
awesome. 'Cause
I'm
that's the
glad.
kind of heirloom. I almost said heirloom. That's good. I can talk. Plus me. That's an awesome kind of heirloom thing that will.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll have that forever.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
hope so. That's definitely
Yeah.
that's the intention. So
love
that
that.
was good. So those are I think that's all my finished objects at the moment.
That's more than I have.
But let's talk about your on the needles.
Yes, my on the needles. I do have stuff on the needles. I have many projects kind of like in the middle on the needles, all at home, because. But
can't carry
currently-
everything around.
I can't
Yeah.
carry everything
No one
around.
can. I mean,
this is
yeah.
getting to the point where I almost can't carry it around. But I have the
Yeah, what is
Antler
this?
Sweater.
Oh yes.
So
wow.
this is
Wow,
the,
that's come together quickly.
Yeah, this is the class that our Sunday sweater class that's going on is the Antler Sweater and the Antler Pullover. So I now
love it.
I have joined the body and I've joined the sleeves and I'm on the yoke.
So you're starting your antler section,
I've-
basically the cables. And
Yes,
all.
I did 3 rows of the cable chart before I just put it down for a minute. And I did, so this is the handy thing about teaching the class, but also kind of the bummer about teaching the class is that I was showing folks how to do various different modifications. So one student has lymphedema, so one arm is slightly larger than the other. So how do you adjust for that
Right.
when you're knitting this sweater? Because either you're going to have one arm way too big,
If you
or
just make them to pattern.
if you just make them to pattern, or even if you just make the same adjustments on both. I always like a slim fitting sleeve, so I adjusted that way. Some folks are adjusting length. Some folks are adjusting better fit in the body, whether it's a larger bust size and a smaller hip size, or vice versa. How you can adjust for that. And because Antler is a round yoke pattern, it's a lot easier to make those adjustments, because when you hit a decrease round, when you're doing a round yoke, and this is a bottom up pattern, you knit the body, you knit the sleeves, each one, and then you do one round all the way around to join it.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've joined it, you have like a bajillion stitches on the needles.
Mm-hmm. And you start decreasing.
Right. And the way that I've kind of like instructed the students who are making these kinds of fit adjustments is like, don't really worry to make sure your sleeve fits your arm, right? Make sure your body fits your body. Once you join it, then let's count the stitches and see where you're at. And so...
And how you need to modify your decreases.
how you need to modify your decreases.
Perfect. Yeah.
For the most part, most of them are not off nearly as much as I was off for my own modifications. I was like, and I knew going in because I cast on a number of stitches for the body that was in between two sizes because I knew that's how I wanted it to fit.
Yep.
One size was too big, one size was too tight, so
so go in between.
smack in the middle, and I knew I could fix it. So the way that most of the students are going to adjust their measurements, the stitch count to get to where they need to be to do the antler yoke, is there's a round of decrease right before you hit the antler yoke. So you knit straight for a while and then you hit the antler yoke. Because I didn't want it baggy.
Yeah,
If you with my hair, I didn't want it baggy here.
So you did your decreases sooner.
What I did is I did a modified raglan decrease in and amongst the short rows. So what I have here, I have the blue waist. The blue is the waist yarn, if you see. So what I have here is I did a couple of sets of raglan decreases right at where the arm meets the body in the front, in the back and in the front. While I was doing some short rows across the back as the pattern dictated to raise the back net. They have you do that before you get to the patterning in the yoke, specifically because it's
you
weird.
you don't want to be messing with that. No, it's
Nobody wants to. It's way too complicated. So I have, and I've seen patterns and sweaters like this before that have, it's like a modified raglan right here, and then you go into whatever yoke shaping it is, and then the round yoke shaping can go on from there. So I basically knocked my stitches down to one of the smaller size numbers, so the cable went in. And I did it slightly more complicated than I probably could have, but I think it looks fine.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Because I was doing the short rows across the back, I did all of the back raglan decreases, and then when I finished the short rows, I started the front raglan decreases. So it looks like they're on the same level, but knitting them, they were not. Very weird and kind of fudgy.
Something you need to, think through and go ahead and do.
And I've done this with other patterns before, and it just goes along with I can't actually knit a sweater without making some kind of substantial change.
You and me both.
But it's going great, and now I'm at the cables, which I love this cable. It's very intuitive.
It's fun. I did a hat for Jean with that. I loved it. It was really fun.
Easy. It's one of those things where it's like you think like, ooh, it looks complicated, but you just realize like you have 4 stitches in the middle that just start going this way, and then you stop that, and then the 4 stitches
what is it,
in the
like a
middle
4 or
this
6
way.
for a repeat? It's not a really long repeat.
It's not a long repeat. It's easy to see if you screwed up.
Yeah.
And also that you don't have to remember what a cable back 4 is or cable 4 back is, which I don't remember. So this is my one main thing on the needle. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more before the next class. What do you got?
Oh, I got so much. I have had serious cast-on-itis lately.
I know.
Casting on all the things.
It's the cold weather coming, sweater weather.
Yeah, it is. One thing that I have been really working on a lot is a new Carbeth. I decided, I don't know, I wanted to have, I love this color.
It's such a gorgeous, like, golden.
I'm calling it my golden Carbeth.
I love it.
I finished the body last night. I did it to 13 inches, and I just left it, or I put it on along like a cord.
Right.
And then I started my sleeves this morning.
Nice.
Or actually, in the wee hours of last night, actually.
That's technically this morning.
It is this morning, actually. Yeah, you're right. I wanted to work on them during knitting circle, and I knew it was not going to be a good idea to be getting to
try to get started.
2 of these on. And one fun thing that I did, again, with all the modifications, thumb holes.
Thumb holes, so you can have like the nice long
because I love,
sleeves and be like,
I mean, it is a fairly long sleeve as it is, and a lot of people cuff them.
But I love it.
But I've always wanted to do a sweater with thumb holes, have never done it.
I love it.
So I added that to this.
So how did you do that?
So what I did was I worked, my rib was supposed to be about 20 rows. So I worked 6 rows normally. I worked 6 rows working back and forth, working flat basically. And then I reconnected above that and worked the last 8 rows.
So that's very similar to your ribbed mitt pattern.
Yes, to the owl, what is that one called again? Boy, it's been a while. We'll have to
Amanda
look that
will
up.
hopefully link to
We'll
it
put the name in it.
here, which she might not realize
it was-
until she
I think
sees
that was
this.
my first pattern that I ever did.
Was
The owl duet mitts.
There we go.
Because it's cables that look like owls, and it's a really easy, fun cable pattern. And basically, the thumb holes, there are no thumbs. It's just holes for your thumbs, and you work back and forth. First you're working the round, then you work back and forth for a few rows to create the thumb hole, then you reconnect.
It's a great way to do mitts, just in general, if you want to make up your own.
Especially, quick and dirty, quick and easy, Because sometimes if you're wearing a mitt, like I don't know, I have done thumbs on some, but it's like if you don't need a full glove, do you really need a thumb? No. I don't think so.
It's also a lot easier than having to knit the thumbs.
So that is my main thing, and I really am trying to finish this to be able to wear it over the Rhinebeck weekend. We'll see.
I think you got the body done. The sleeves go quick, and then it's like the yoke. When you do the yoke, you
the
just do
store
all the
sample.
decreases.
I did the store sample of this of the pullover. I did it mainly in 3 snow days. So I know I've done it fast before, so I should be able to do it again.
Got some time.
And then, let's see. Oh, this is my Nightshift, which also, before I got obsessed with the Carbeth, I was obsessed with this. So,
it's gorgeous.
I'm working on, thank you, I'm really happy with it.
These colors are
so fun. So
stunning.
So,
is this Noro?
This is Noro Silk Garden. Nice. So I did it a little bit differently than most people are doing it, and I don't remember if I talked about this. I think I talked about it a little bit, but maybe didn't even have it last time with me.
I don't know that you had it last time.
I don't think I had it with. Because literally last time we recorded, I had about 4 inches, and I think actually I frogged it again after that because I didn't like the amount of contrast between the background and the first accent that I started. So I am using one color of Noro Silk Garden, one of the multis, for my entire background.
Oh.
I'm just going to keep repeating that.
Keep going.
And then I've got 3 of the colors from it in Silk Garden Solo
as
that's my accents.
Neat.
So that's kind of another twist on it. I thought that was fun. Because I don't know, I have certain colors that I love, but I don't love wearing a million colors at once.
Right.
So for me, this was just a good way to go with it.
Well, that's a really interesting way to do it because then your background changes, your contrast color changes,
but they all really work together. You know that they're going to work together because they're all from the multi. And beautiful. Right now I've been able to do the 5, single stitch rows followed by the 5 double stitch rows of slip stitches and not have to change my accent,
It's still contrast.
It's still contrasting. I mean, there is one section where it's like blue on blue, but actually the texture makes it contrast, which is kind of cool. That was the only part that as I was knitting it, it was a little, I was like, is this going to work? I'm like, I'm going to keep going and see later.
Yeah, I like that.
I may wind up, as the stripes of the background get narrower, I may wind up having to do one accent for the singles and another for the doubles to keep
that could look cool.
Exactly. It doesn't bother me. I think that could be fun. It could just be another little twist. So that has been a fun thing I've been working on.
Awesome.
And then what else then my store project.
Yeah.
I'm serious cast on it.
You really do. But you've made good progress on all of them. That's the nice thing.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know. Some weeks, So this is a little pattern, and I actually wrote it up already so that I can be testing it as I'm working on it. And if other people want to start it, they can test it too. This is a really simple wrap made with Noro Bachi, which we showed on our last podcast.
That's a big chunky round
new yarn that we have in store.
Dudes.
Yeah,
so this is so pretty.
This is after I've done that much knitting, and these are 200-gram balls. So they're 200-gram balls of bulky, nice. And I think it's like between a bulky and a super bulky. I don't know that it's quite a full super bulky, but it's more than your average bulky because it is thick and thin. So this really is. It's kind of like the dishcloth approach, like the grandma's dishcloth, where you've got your garter edge, you've got a yarn over separating the edge from the body, but instead of doing garter for the whole thing, I did stockinette. So
it'll be a long rectangle.
It'll be a long rectangle with the stripes going on the diagonal.
I love that.
And it's just like when I saw the yarn, I said it calls out for something that you're really going to just see those colors. So, so that is the point of that.
And really highlight Noro's colorways.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's fun. It's been a fun thing too. And so it's been a while since I've had a true store project. So I'm,
And this is a perfect store project.
It's a perfect store project because really it's like at this point, it's literally you're alternating 2 rows and you're either knitting or purling.
Pick it up or put it down.
At any point. And the rows are never going to get too long because when you're working on the angle, the diagonal, it's 52 stitches. It's always going to be 52 stitches.
Yeah, that is the thing about the
The night shift.
The night shift. The rows are just going to keep getting longer.
getting longer.
That's why when I made a night shift or a shift thing, I went with a shift KAL because at some point it stopped. Otherwise, I probably would have just kept on going because it's so.
Oh, it's
it's
addictive.
really
when
addictive.
I've worked on that. It's I've most of the nights, and it's getting to the point I can't really do that anymore. But I've worked like one whole repeat per night when I've been working on it. Again, staying up ridiculously late. But yeah, I'm gonna have to now start doing like a half a repeat a night when I get back to it.
Well, that's when you do like the singles and the doubles and the singles and the doubles.
So we probably should take a minute for me to clean up all this stuff as we then talk about what's in store, right?
Yeah, we have a bunch in store.
We do.
Well, and you know what? We can. I'm gonna start pulling things close to me, and Amanda will edit this out if she needs to. Because I love it.
Oh, and it's funny. One of my little tips that I do is when I put pictures on Ravelry, I take a picture of the project, so that I can see it on Ravelry and know which project it is, like the feature picture, and then I do one with the project bag in it as well, because so
you
often
remember where it is.
So often I don't remember, but you know what? I am such an idiot sometimes because I routinely take one of those pictures and then change my project bag. Like last night, I decided to put the Carbeth in here because it holds 2 giant balls of eco wool.
It's a sweater wool.
And
it's a sweater bag.
Yeah. So now my
now you got to change up your picture on Ravelry.
Though right now I'm not going to forget that one because that is my main goal for the time being.
Important house reach.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about what's new in store, and we have the most fun new in store. We just got a bajillion boxes.
6 giant boxes.
6 giant boxes
of knitted wit. In advance of our trunk show, which, as we've said, has happened by the time you're seeing this. But
we'll have more. We have more.
And
we have a ton.
And we ordered for the trunk show, and we also ordered to have our stock for the fall into the early winter. So we've got lots of different things. You want to start at that end?
I'll start at this end because we have knitted with worsted, which Unicorn Nightmares is one of my. I love this one.
I picked that one.
I think.
I'm sure more than one of us wanted it.
I'm sure we were all like, yes, Unicorn Nightmares. Funfetti here,
which has been a perennial favorite of ours.
Mermaid's Dream 2. This one is possibly my most favoriteest ever. I keep saying that about all of them, but
I know, but they're all. But you love them all.
So this is
it's
just
like children, right? It's like you don't have a favorite.
I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
Yeah.
This is also just we literally just grabbed a couple of things off the top.
Oh yeah, this is. A lot of it is still in boxes at this moment, but it won't be by the time.
By no means this is all of what we have, but this is just a selection.
A little sampling.
Watery Tart and Hand in Hand. So this is applied worsted and it's super squishy and I love it so much. I'm just gonna snuggle it.
I made an Age of Brass and Steam shawl out of that last year. I used 2 skeins of the worsted. It's nice, generously sized without being too big, and it's lovely to wear.
I love this.
So yeah, it's really nice. So in addition to the beautiful, dyeing, it's just a nice quality yarn.
It's a lovely base.
Nicely plied. Yeah.
Really lovely base.
So
we have worsted.
Then we also restocked DK, which Knitted with DK has been one of our best-selling yarns for a while.
I love this one, Gates of the Arctic.
Yep, we restocked some of the National Park colorways, Gates of the Arctic, Great Smoky Mountains. I love this one.
I
Purples
love
and the blacks.
one.
That's very me.
It's so gorgeous.
This is also very me.
That's
Sitka
what
National. That's what I did in the worsted for the Age of Brass and Steam. But you know what? I love it in the DK as well.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We also got a couple of new colors that we haven't had before, including Rock Candy Teal, which is like, it's all similar colors, but still speckled and fun. But
and we've had that in Cotton Candy before, so it's fun to have it now in the DK.
I love it.
And then this actually looks similar, but it's a little bit different. This is Dryad.
I love this
We got several of the Rock Candies. I know we also got Rock Candy Orange. It's very pretty. I was looking for it in the box, but it's layers down. I couldn't grab it.
I know. What we also have the Knitted Wit Cotton Candy, which is the big, squishy, super bulky, which is also probably down at the bottom of the box, so we didn't pull it out for you. But definitely, that was a huge favorite last year, and it's going to be a huge favorite again this year.
I'm sure. And then we've got
more sock.
So those are just a couple of...
These colors run for office, which
love that.
They do. Watery Tart. What else we have?
Spectra
Specs. This is like the most gorgeous speckly rainbow.
I
love it.
And that is, we have quite a few. There are, I think, 72 Harry Potter colors within Knitted Wit's palette, which is quite amazing in its own right.
Well, they do like a whole chunk.
They do
for
a book
each
at a time.
book,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I think they've been
Awesome.
doing like 12 or something.
This one's the Harry Potter one, right? The Spectre Specs?
Yeah, I love that. It's funny. I've been actually listening to all the Harry Potter books again as I've been like if I need to be listening while I'm knitting as opposed to like Knitflixing or something.
Yeah.
I've been re-listening to Harry Potter, so I'm almost at the end of Goblet of Fire right now, and just remembering how much I love them. I do. So I love having all these Harry Potter colors.
I love them.
We've got at least a dozen, and
Yeah, we've
plus
got a
the
bunch.
house colors too. Like we've got.
And they're just beautiful colors.
They're beautiful
in general.
colors in and of themselves, but if you love the books, it's
the
the
more
tie-in
reason.
is so fun.
Or if you have someone who loves the books,
Exactly.
who maybe want a
Maybe
shawl
sock-worthy.
or a sock-worthy.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, and plus we have holiday colors. So,
We do. So starting off, because it is October, we still have a few skeins left.
just a couple.
Yeah, 5 total of Great Pumpkin and Creepy Crawlers, which are 2 of the Halloween colors from Knitted Wit. And then
Creepy Crawlers actually reminds me of Slytherin, even though it's not the official
It's
Slytherin
limey. It's like
colors.
a
It's like
limey,
the
yellowy
limey
green.
green
It
instead
is
of
still-
the
yeah.
green. I would say that could pass.
And then we've got, Christmas
got
and New
Christmas,
Year's.
Christmas
So
and
we've
New
got
Year's.
Bad Santa and Holiday Lights. So
Love
if you
it.
want to get started early and actually make people socks for Christmas,
Yeah.
this is
Or holidays, or
yeah,
you have
any-
somebody who loves Halloween. Give them the yarn, and then take the yarn back to make the
and
sock.
make the socks, yeah. Because unless you're a super fast sock knitter, you're probably not going to
Yeah.
finish them before Halloween.
Maybe.
Actually, one thing somebody mentioned at Knitting Circle today, and it was
Yeah.
Beth who works here, who we are going to start having our folks on. We've talked about it.
Yes.
We've got to get it on the calendar.
We're gonna do special guests.
But she was talking about Skillshare and saying how she hates to set in sleeves, and I'm like, I don't mind setting in sleeves. So we're talking about having her do some of the to me annoying parts of a sock,
Right.
and I will set in her sleeves.
So you'll do the
So-
plain tube, and she'll do like the heel and the toe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Or
good. It's
might-
like a
I
knitter's
might
share.
even, yeah, I might even. I like toe up. Because
Yeah.
I'm a weird person when it comes to socks. I don't really care so much about the fit. I like the easy. So,
That makes sense.
but whatever, yeah. So I'll do the heel. I'll do the toe. She can do the heel, and then I'll finish them maybe, and I'll set in her
Awesome.
sleeves. So that'll be a
love
good
that.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
a brilliant idea. Because I don't mind picking up
I'll-
stitches. I'll pick up stitches all day long.
And you know,
I got no problem with that.
I want you to wear your Carbeth. I'll finish your sleeves if you still have them.
Well, I have my Carbeth is done. It's the
what is? Yeah.
it's the
Yeah, you've
Comfort
worn your
Fade
Carbeth.
cardigan.
Yeah, that's what it
Has
is.
literally everything except for the sleeves. The sleeves
Yeah.
are hanging out at this length, right where you divide for the sleeves. They're hanging out on their waist yarn, and I did the shawl collar.
Yeah.
I did the rest. It's all done. I even wove in ends because I was
Wow.
like, what can I do?
What else can I do to avoid doing sleeves?
instead of the sleeves? I just need to just do them.
You know
I
what? You
think-
should bring it. You should bring it and do it on Thursday and Friday if we have downtime during the intermediate class, maybe. Though
Yeah,
you're usually
maybe.
popping
It's
around.
usually it's like I'm usually running around.
I
It's also
know,
it's like
I know.
it's part of the sleeve thing, at least for top down sweaters for me, is it gets so unwieldy because
yeah,
you're like
you've got the whole sweater.
flipping
You're-
the whole
you've got the
sweater
whole
around,
thing.
and I already did the collar, so you're flipping the
Yeah.
whole sweater with the collar.
That's why I do my little thing with wrapping it all up and doing the clip.
I might need to
because
do that. I think I
It
need
really
to.
it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
think
you
I
don't have
need to
this
do
kind of
that.
octopus on your lap.
And it's like if I do the sleeves first, then I just tuck the sleeves into the body. But I
Even then.
I didn't think it through. So don't forget to come into the store to check out the Knitted Wit restock because we seriously have a
Absolutely.
ton, and the cotton candy colors are adorable and squishy and delicious. And maybe we'll show them on another podcast when we unpack the entire box.
Yeah, yeah. And I've still got that sample
Yeah.
actually in
Yeah.
the corner of my living room. That is the warehouse.
Oh,
that is warehouse
love
overflow.
the
Oh my god,
one-
we are so full of yarn right now.
Only for a short
ridiculous.
period of time, though.
That's
You guys
right,
keep
that's
buying it,
right.
which is good. We want that. Come
Yep,
buy it.
yep.
Come buy it. So, in the meantime, make sure that you like and subscribe us down below.
Yeah.
And you can follow us on all kinds of social media, including YouTube, Ravelry, what else?
Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat occasionally, but we're more on Instagram these days. And we're all Shop Yarnia on all of the above, except for Facebook, where we're Yarnia LLC. And guys, if you ever are unsure if we're open or what's going on, go to our Facebook page, go to our Instagram, and you can check out the details 100% there. We post events on both of them, registration links, all of that fun stuff. So, and come by and say hi. So until next
Sounds
time,
good. All right.
bye.
Take care. Bye.